What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Skull Network. My name is Nick, and welcome back to the weekly NFL Picks segment on the channel. This is Week 7. We're almost to the halfway point of what used to be the normal NFL season, and things are definitely looking up right now. Last week, I went 10-4, bringing my overall season record up to 62-32. So things are definitely straightening out from those few rough weeks I had back earlier this season. We are, again, in the part of the season where we have buys for some teams. These will be the teams on bye this week, including my Minnesota Vikings, so I get to be sad for 1 week, but let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the picks. Kicking things off, we have Thursday Night Football with the Browns and the Broncos, and I still have not missed on Thursday Night Football, so I am feeling very confident with this pick. Now, Baker Mayfield is apparently planning on playing. Yes, they are down both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but frankly, the Broncos and Vic Fangio have just been very disappointing ever since that 3-0 start. They really just haven't looked very good on either side of the ball. They obviously didn't fare very well against a John Gruden-less Raiders team last week. I think I can stay perfect here, even though it's probably going to be a little closer due to the Browns injury situation, but I am going to take the Browns and Baker Mayfield to take this one on Thursday night. Moving on to the Sunday slated games, we have the Chiefs and the Titans, and last week I said the Titans couldn't rely on just Derrick Henry to go out and win them games, which is exactly what they went on to do, because Derrick Henry is definitely not a human. I mean, same goes for Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the ball, and they still have all the usual weapons, but that Kansas City defense is just, as we say every single week in, week out, so porous. So normally I would want to go with Kansas City here, but I like the direction that Tennessee is going. I think this might be considered somewhat of an upset, maybe not in some people's eyes now, but I'm going to be taking Tennessee in this one. Up next, we have the Washington Football Team and the Green Bay Packers, and this one's super easy. That Washington Football Team defense still not playing it very well at all. Taylor Heineke struggling. Antonio Gibson might be out with that shin injury, and the Packers, as we know, they own the Bears, and I think this week they're going to own the Washington Football Team. Up next is the Falcons and the Dolphins. Falcons are coming off of a bye, so they should be very healthy. Dolphins are coming off to a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is never a good thing, and the Dolphins are definitely one of the most underperforming teams so far this season. Really, the only bright spot is Mike Gesicki, because there's a lot of inconsistencies on both sides of the ball for the Dolphins, and the Falcons, they're not much better, but I do think they're going to fare a little bit better in this game. I'm going to be taking Atlanta. Up next, we have the Panthers and the Giants. Now, the Giants, as we know, continue to struggle. They are a bottom feeder team in the NFL, but the Panthers are definitely showing signs that they are, well, not as great of a team as we thought they were. Sam Darnold playing very poorly the last 3 weeks. As we know, that defense gave up 571 yards to the Vikings last week. But even though the Panthers are struggling so much, I just think the Giants are in just too low of a state. And my God, they're just so bad in general. No matter what way you look at it, we don't know if Kadarius Toney is going to be playing, which is a huge part of that offense, as we now know. I'm going to be pretty safe here. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. Up next, we have the Bengals and the Ravens, and this has all the makings of a great game. The Ravens obviously went in and took care of business against the Chargers last week, and oddly enough, played incredibly great defense, which they didn't do against the Colts. So I'm kind of getting a little worried about inconsistencies within that defense. But as we know, Lamar Jackson, that entire offense, they're playing great right now, but so is the Bengals offense, and it kind of makes this a little tough to pick. Now, I said the same thing about the Chargers last week. I thought the Chargers were going to absolutely throttle the Ravens, so this one's definitely a toss-up. But in reality, thinking logically, there's no reason that I should be picking against the Ravens here. Yeah, I like Joe Burrow and where that team is going, but I just think that Ravens offense is going to be putting up way too many points over the next few weeks, and I don't know if a lot of teams can keep up with them, so I'm going to be taking the Baltimore Ravens. Up next is the Jets and the Patriots. Yes, the Jets are healthy and coming off of a bye week, and yes, the Patriots can't close out games for the life of them, but this is still the New York Jets we're talking about, and Mac Jones is showing signs that he's the best rookie quarterback out of this class without question. And yeah, Jacoby Myers still hasn't put up a touchdown in his career, and a whole other slew of issues for this Patriots team, but I do like them a lot more than the Jets right now, so I'll be taking them in this one. Next up, we have the Raiders and the Eagles. Now, Jalen Hurts has not been playing very well at all. He's been playing great in fantasy, but that doesn't really translate much to wins in the NFL, whereas the Raiders, they looked great without John Gruden, and I think they can really keep that up. Derek Carr seemed to thrive, and man, they really took care of business last week. I do think this is one of those games that can go either way, because I think the Eagles have that possibility of just being an elite offense 1 week and obviously not the next couple weeks. So I do think that the Eagles have a very good shot in this game, but I want to be safe here, and I'm going to be taking the Las Vegas Raiders. Up next, we have the Lions and the Rams. Revenge game for Matthew Stafford. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw for over 550 yards. That Lions team is abysmal in almost every aspect of football, where the Rams are on the other side of the stratosphere, and I don't think this is going to be relatively close at all. I'm going to take the Rams. Up next, we have the Bears and the Buccaneers. Now, as we know, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, and without much explanation needed, I think Tom Brady is going to be owning the Bears, at least for 1 week here. I'm going to be taking Tampa Bay. Up next, we have the Cardinals and the Texans. As we know, Cardinals only remaining undefeated team left, and the Texans, well, they're far from having that title. And I do think that this is going to be a similar situation to the previous game we just talked about. I think Kyler Murray is going to, quote unquote, own the Texans, and I don't think it's going to be relatively close at all. I'm going to be taking the Cardinals here. Up next, we have the Colts and the 49ers. 49ers coming off a bye week, so they should have some fresh legs out there. But the Colts and Jonathan Taylor and that whole offense is just on a different level right now. They're really starting to click, and they're really starting to utilize their pieces correctly. As for the 49ers, yes, you have Trey Lance in, and he shows promise, but he is still young. He is still inexperienced, and I do think that the Colts defense could present some troubles for him. And that 49ers defense, while pretty good, like I said, that Colts offense is just clicking on another level right now. I'm going to be taking the Indianapolis Colts on this one. And ending things off with Monday Night Football, we have the Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. Saints are coming off of a bye week, so they should have fresh legs, as I keep saying. And the Seahawks are fresh off of, well, a very odd game against the Steelers, to say the least. But Geno Smith is still a lifetime backup, and wow, he really doesn't know how to use DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. And if you're a quarterback in the league and you can't make those guys shine, then you got a lot of problems coming up ahead. And I don't think that they improve much off of what happened last week. I don't know word on whether Chris Carson is going to be starting, so I'm just going to assume it's going to be Alex Collins. Yes, the Saints are a really volatile team, and you don't know what you're going to get with them, but it's still the Geno Smith show, so until he can show any signs of relative life, I got to take whatever team is against him. So in that case, it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. And that is going to wrap up the picks for this week, guys. If you guys thought any of these picks were great, or if you thought they were awful, regardless of what your opinion is, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the button down below to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like as well. If you want to share this video with anyone, you can do that with anyone on any platform. And if it's a crack dealer on the corner, that's your guys' best option. You guys already know. My name is Nick, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Adios.